Yo, 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 what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Nick the Great coming at you with another live. You already know if you're new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. To all the returning friends and family, you already know it's peace and blessings. I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of time to tune in case the notifications ain't go out. Popcorn, what's going on, my guy? First things first, you already know. Hopefully, everybody having a blessed and productive Tuesday. Yeah, my bad, y'all trying to avoid the copyright already. Hopefully everybody having a blessed and productive Taco Tuesday. Taco Tuesday. For those in the city, is hot like wildfire. So make sure you keeping yourself some form of water and some form of hydration with you. Same thing with the ladies. Keep yourselves hydrated. Keep yourselves, cool to a minimum. Chef, what's going on, my guy? Miss T, what's going on, baby? Appreciate everybody that tuned in Sunday for the conversation. Definitely was another good one. And shout out to Hammond Nation for popping in on the convo. Um, I found out a few little things today. Few little things today. Well, not really today. I found out a few things yesterday. A few things yesterday, and even Sunday as we speak. Yes, yes. Still was a good conversation nonetheless. Despite that, you got different troll accounts, right? Coming from different sectors of this app. It goes to show you when you're doing something on the upright, this is the type of opposition you're going to face. In my opinion, it almost tied into mental health because I almost said, what kind of distraught mind must you have to worry about creating all these different accounts? Like I said, from different sectors of this app. A couple of these sectors I ain't never been in, so how you found my channel don't really care. I'm going to make that clear to you and anybody else that the content that's coming here is still going to continue to come here, whether you like it or not. The problem is some people just want issues. Well, you ain't going to get issues the way you think you're going to get issues. That's number one. And again, only in my opinion, of this third person is that determined. So now I said it was probably maybe one person. Nah, it seemed to be multiple people. Like I said, none of that stops the boat. Because today it really is still mental health awareness month. But you know how I do it. I'm gonna dig into it all throughout the year. Doesn't matter how many days I do it. But you know this is how we usually give it up anyway. Content is more than anything. It's more than the trolls. It's more than the accounts. And I believe I sniped a lot of them out of here. But I'm gonna keep giving you fair warning. Keep on trying. Keep on trying. That does not stop the boat. That don't stop the message from coming out. Marlene, what's going on, baby? And it's funny because the accounts that's being used is it's just too funny. Even the pictures being used, it's like, yeah, some of y'all really got some deep seated issues. This app ain't helping. I think this app is giving some of y'all a form of mental instability. I'm gonna call it like I see it. There's some of you who are willing to crash out that bad. So Yeah, it's funny style to me. But in the same token, like I told y'all before, this is what will disturb certain people and they build or just whatever growth they're doing on this app. Anybody in this chat feel that it's fair now? I'm cool though. Like I said, there ain't nothing but smoke still left in this canister. Still ammunition left in this canister. So, like I said, the plans of just trying to be a distraction or just thinking your distractions are actually working, I try harder than that. It's amazing what you find out when you go through that studio of yours. So yeah. Like I said, some of these troll accounts I've seen ain't even coming from a sector that I've barely been in. I don't even walk through like that. There's still a whole bunch of sectors on this app I don't know about. If I happen to come across it, or if I just come across a person, they seen whatever, yeah, I'm gonna hit that like, especially if I like what the content is. Some of y'all is too invested, too damn invested. And like I said, it's to a point where, you know, you messing up people who actually want to build. And I'm not talking about me in per se. I'm saying in general. You messing it up for people who actually find some peace of mind and some peace of ground doing what they do. I don't know. Some of y'all really need to find a balance in your life for real. The, the more you keep sitting here looking desperate, the more funny after a while it starts to get. Like I said, I've been less annoyed. And especially since I said I figured it was probably more than one person doing the thing. Didn't matter. That's not gonna stop a message. I don't know you niggas from a hole in the wall and don't care about you from a hole in the wall. Jizz, what's going on? What's going on? You know, that's the problem. You know, again, I believe that's a real form of mental disturbance. Focusing your time and energy on people that you don't know personally, probably never met personally, will never meet personally. Or because you see people, even the people that's not creating content, because you see people come in, may support some people, so on and so forth, automatically. Oh, they down with the beef, they down with this, they down with that. That's not the case neither. But it is sad though. It's sad what kind of a media ring circus this is becoming. But I would say for those who are building on the up and up, even those who could be dealing with some form of mental instability, keyword, some form, something mild and manageable. That's all you gotta remember is keep yourself mild and manageable. You don't allow too much in, and you don't have to let too much out either. But yeah, back to the topic at hand though, for real. You know, when it comes to mental health and even mental disease, you know, it's still a fighting battle. Word, what's going on, my guy? It's still a fighting battle, you know. And there's nothing wrong with not so much as just getting awareness, but shoot, even trying to focus on form of study to see if you can even be a part of the research. You know, never know. You might have some ideas that, you know, people might have not thought of, even the medical experts probably wouldn't have thought about. You know, it gives a clarity again of making sure you're not misdiagnosing somebody. Because prime example, There's some people who didn't really have no issues until they was prescribed medications that they wasn't supposed to be taking in the first place, or shouldn't have even been coming in contact with in the first place. I believe that's another part of some of the mental health. It may be just my view and opinion on it. I could be right, I could be wrong. Like I said, I always try to leave the floor open too, because again, it's things that we probably don't know. What you might know, I probably don't know, and vice versa. But I believe some of that is getting caused because people are being hooked on to some of these specific drugs, and those drugs is definitely starting to make you either hallucinate or starting to make you act rash. You know, could be doing things out of normal or out of a far length that you would have never done. So, that's something to be aware of and take into consideration. The battle against mental health and even battling depression, whether it's clinical or not, the main focus is you want to really try to get somebody back to a better reach and a better peace. Sometimes you might not reach everybody because their mind has been breached, like I said recently, and it's been breached in the wrong way. So now everything will be a downhill spiral, which is unfortunate because, again, these are people that probably still have potential to make things better in their lives and not take that dark step. So you have to be aware on that. 702, what's going on, baby? I already know if y'all just tuned in, hit the like button. Oh, yeah, for those who are just coming in. So, yeah. So I found out some interesting details before I get back to the lesson at hand. Apparently, I got trolls from everywhere. Wait. Yo, word, let me ask you a question, my brother. Does that make me fake YouTube famous now? Nah, we stop playing. Nah, it's crazy, though. It's amazing, like I said, what you find out when you go through these little studios. Yeah, at some point, there's going to be some extra changes and extra curriculums. And I'm going to start giving y'all more some extra fun and some leeway. Hmm. We'll talk about that later. My dastardly laugh. We shall talk about that later. Nah, but you gotta remember this part though. Again, it's about trying to keep that mind in its preservational state, you know, regardless to the spectrum, regardless to how severe. There are some people that you're not going to be able to say things to or even give certain things to as far as, too much time. The reason why I say it like that is because sometimes they need their own space. Like most people, you need your own space. You know? Sometimes that's that moment of clarity to think. But then also too, you gotta remember that you're not in the fight alone. So even if you feel in a different type of way, you still got people around you that you need to sit down and have the talks with them. You know, I feel it's the best way to avoid another tragedy. Facts, word, and that's the whole fact right there. That's why I said there's multiple ways to deal with. Like I was talking about the other day, there's multiple ways to deal with even the simplest of depressions. You know, it's just about what's better for you, what's going to help you overcome that depression and even beat it. Because I feel depression can be beatable or at least manageable, either which way. You'll still have a better chance than you just completely crashed out. Now, just the other day, it was a situation where two cops had to tackle the dude, but you could tell the dude definitely is suffering some form of either mental sight or probably a relapse. You look like you on the streets. Definitely, like you don't look like you had any form of medication. And even if you leaning from the medication, is making you worse. They just had to tackle this man down. Luckily, it wasn't too crazy, but still, it goes to show you, like, there's some people that, within the instant, some form of either violence or whatever could take place, depending. So, that's something to be aware of, and it's something to just try to keep yourself preserved on. Sure, I believe, there's certain hard drugs that will definitely lead you to that path or lead to a form of mental depression. Because there's some people who, again, they can't take certain things. They can't take death, prime example. They might react to it differently from me, you, or anybody else. And that's the problem. What you just said is the truth, though, but I've always felt like this, no matter what your situation is, no matter what the spectrum, so on and so forth. And I'm just giving a logical feel. If you have the right source and the right form of people that you can really go to that can help you, even if it's people that, have been around it or, been in the middle of it, get that help. Again, there's nothing wrong with trying to do that. Like I said, it doesn't make you weak, doesn't make you less than a human being. There's going to be some fights where you're not going to be able to battle it alone. You're going to have to battle it with the people that actually love and care for you, which is the truth. So you have to take that into consideration. You really have to. And again, if you're lucky or fortunate to have those right ones, then again, you know, reach out. It's not that hard to do. It shouldn't be that hard to do, honestly, because they would probably do the same thing for you. You got to take that into consideration. It's only when you're trying to do certain things that you feel are achievable. And it feels even better when you can get those things achieved and you got the right, stronghold, basically, got the right foundational pieces. It makes a difference. And that right there is another way, again, at least in my opinion, starts the battle against whatever depression, clinical or not. Some things you're gonna have to be aware of again because again, you know, you can't give too much, you can't give too little neither. It has to be a strong balance. Because in the long run, depending on what your depression is, what you're battling, again, you could be somewhat good, but then in the same token, you still could be holding on to some things. So again, it's about trying to get a better peace and balance when it's all said and done. So some things, yeah, you might have to let go. You know, like I said, the things that are out of your control, you can't change, can't do nothing with. Just have to accept it. Be strong and continue to move forward. I don't write to the music you hearing right now. I ain't got nothing to do with this. So, yeah, it is a nice day out for those in the city. Make sure y'all getting out, even if it's taking that good old casual morning or afternoon walk. Yeah, that's another way, like I said, just to help battle some things. You have to take a walk. You know, got to keep yourself active. Got to keep yourself motivated. And again, there's different ways to battle depression or battle any type of imbalance you might be dealing with. Again, you got to find something that brings you happiness. What really drives you, what pushes you, what encourages you to keep doing what you're doing, to keep you moving. You know, when you find those things, or you actually do have those things actually in front of you, then you be thankful for those. And again, you try to utilize what you can utilize. Again, because it's about fighting the battle together, especially if you're all going through it. And again, if you open your mouth and say something, you never know. Again, you could find somebody who probably done been there, almost done went out of there. There's a lot of people that have bounced back from this. Like I said, you know, it's not over. You still got time to make things work. So again, when you have the right tools and the right people around you, you use them wisely, as you're supposed to. We all need some form of a lifeline at times, or an extended lifeline on people, because again, as long as you doing certain things and trying to preserve yourself in the same token. Because again, whether you're on the spectrum or not, you can still suffer some form of mental health, whether you believe it or not, or some form of mental stress, and it's not going to be it's not going to be a good one, especially if you're already holding on to things. So, again, have to be careful and what you're giving your energy to. And if you feel you don't need the medication, like if there are some people who, even though they seem like they need the medication, they fought it. Again, it's about finding the right things that's going to keep you in the right spot. There's some people who have either done arts, boxing, some form of training, combat training. Shoot, no matter what you decide to do, or if it's going to help you, let it help you. And again, follow the process. Some people, they give up already because they feel that it's not going to be worth it. Or they might have heard some people say, oh, you just tripping, it's not going to work. Again, you got to remember to listen to yourself. You know, again, people deal with certain things different. But should you really want to see your fellow brother or sister fall in the deepest, you know, and especially if you really rock and resonate with them. A lot of times people just need to hear good talk. Sometimes that good talk, even that little pep of motivation, it'll give them the spirit to keep moving forward. Because again, life gonna throw you nothing but the hardest obstacles. It don't matter. It's about overcoming them, becoming your best self, and again, taking every bit and lesson learned from that to be a better person. But you got to remember that part though. In order to keep the elevation going for somebody, just got to tell them what they need to hear, not what they want to hear. I believe that's another way and form of not so much just keeping it 100 with them, but also giving them that sharp mind to say, you know what, I got to remember this. You know what, you gave me some good advice. Like I said, even if it's not usable right now, it could be usable at some time. So again, apply it to yourself. Pardon me, y'all. Want to do some street work? You know what time it is. We shouldn't get the ambulance. That's the Leroy Johnson. So it's look like you about to go do something illegal and innocent at the same time. What's going on? I like that. Yeah. We look like the ball.
I up there. Yeah, it's full of shit back there. I'm loving that vibe. As soon as you go up there and pop you over there, you're gonna be like you, son. You already. Yo, I'm bad. Yeah, you gotta remember that part. You know, you never knock somebody when they down. You never hit somebody when they at their worst. I've always felt, certain things like that. They'll come back. I don't need that. And again, my bad, y'all. Yeah, street work is always, you know what it is, though. You know what it is. Again, you gotta remember, there's some things you just can't allow to take shape and form, and even again affect your critical judgments and everything. You know, gotta keep your mental at a strong pace. You take everything step by step and day by day, but again, you trust the process. Like I said, for some people, their best way to battle depression or anything is if just getting out, exercising, get your mind motivated, get your heart pumping. Those simple things like that again, and give you some form of encouragement and motivation for the day, even for the week. Because again, you got to remember there's certain battles that you're never going to be alone in, regardless. So again, yeah, you just have to learn to do the necessary. BMF, what's going on, my guy? Harry, what's going on? What's going on? Gotta remember again, your mind. You gotta remember your mind is the key element you need for that machinery you call a body. If you're not able to calculate, navigate, and make the right decisions, critical downfall coming. The one thing I would also say too, the best way to deal with some forms of depression is again, just letting certain aspects of life go. Things you really couldn't do nothing with or change anything along those lines. I mean, on any cylinder, you couldn't change it. Just leave it be. Let it go. Don't make sense to hold on to leftover baggage, basically. And I hear you, BMF. I just got back in the shade for a minute. Needed that. Yeah, but again, it's about what suits you and what keeps you in a better peace and a better ground. And even when it's being disturbed, it shouldn't breach it. It's good to keep your mind strong. Again, walk away if you have to. You walk away from certain things if you need to, especially if it's going to give you a better balance for the remainder of your days on this earth. Again, there's some things that, again, let it go. Move on from it. Whatever lesson you might have learned, it is what it is. You keep it pushing. You have to make a decision again to fight for yourself, because nobody else will fight for you if you ain't willing to fight for yourself. It's a difference if you really can't. You're too disabled to do anything. That's a difference. But now you need to fight. Remember that every day there will be some form of blessing and a lesson. And then, things will look up.
Main thing is to keep your mind clear. You know, if there's things that you are neglecting, or if there was things that you feel you really want to focus on now, then you focus on it. Doesn't matter what it is, you focus on it. Take the necessary steps, the time, and do what's necessary from there. Once you feel like you are at a calmer ground, basically, then get back to your day to days. Get back to your regular routine. Sometimes you might have to take a step back and unplug, but it's for the betterment too of your mental health. There's things that as much as you want to try to be a help or a factor, you're not going to be able to help. So most you can do is give the most advice, and you move on from there. Like I was saying before, reading the signs. That's just like if you know somebody that's not accustomed to really, being rash or making decisions along the lines that could get them hurt. Yeah, you need to find out what's going on with that. And again, make sure they at least somewhere in a better mind state before you walk off or you decide to do whatever. You know, again, it's solely about choices. If you choose not to open your mouth and say something to the people who actually mean something, how will you actually get through this battle of depression? How will you actually get through the stages of life where you could feel your most depressed? Some people's depression start from the simplest things like not having things on a bucket list done. Prime example. In my opinion, everybody starts some form of bucket list from when they young. Things they want to do, things they want to achieve, things they could be able to achieve. You know, it is what it is. There's some things if you wasn't able to do it then, you still got time to do it now, and you still have the resources to do it. To do it. You know, that's another way of encouraging yourself and keeping yourself, you know, mentally sharp. Because now you have to make critical decisions. Main thing is never put too much stress on you because you already have enough stress as it is. You know, again, it's about not taking in but so much. Sometimes you might have to meditate. Sometimes you might have to pray. Whatever it is you got to do to get to that better balance, then you just need to do that. But again, you got to remember, sometimes you got to really gotta evaluate and observe things before you go off the deep end. Some people's depression starts from, like I said, loss of a job, especially if it was a job that they definitely liked, it definitely was on go for. It gave them structure and balance. That was a good thing. And again, even that can kind of send somebody upside down because now you got to worry about bills. Like I said, if you wasn't carefully calculated or executed, now you might have issues where you might have problems keeping your house. Or you might have problems keeping the simplest things you probably did get. Might not be able to have no car no more. Again, there's certain things you got to be aware of. Tanya, what's going on, baby? Happy Taco Tuesday, Taco Tuesday. Like prime example, if you want to think about history, the Great Depression is a prime example. A lot of people did things they wouldn't have normally have done. You gotta look at it. Things done plummeted, took a turn for the worse at some point. That right there drove a lot of people out, out the woodworks. Because if you used to doing a certain thing, or if you used to even being a part of something booming, or even if it is your own, and now you at a point where even the rich couldn't really do much, yeah, that's a problem. So it drove some people off the edge. That, and then you had to think about it. At that point, it was a prohibition, no alcohol. So again, that was another factor. So you got loss of jobs, and for some people, you got loss of the thing that they like the best, or that keeps them at a bare minimum, basically. But yeah, that right there shows a form that it can happen just like that as we speak now. And a lot of people crashing out to that point. And some people even crashing out where they are saying and doing certain things that can cause them to really leave this earth early if they don't catch themselves. And I believe, like I said, some of them be doing that for attention. And I never understood how some people could be coming from, like I said, the best backgrounds and not be appreciative of that. It's crazy. All right, no doubt, Tanya. No chicken salad for you. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about no chicken salad for you then. Forget Taco Burrito Tuesdays, chicken and Caesar salad Tuesdays, extra ranch dressing and Caesar salad, man. Taco. Nah, but you just gotta remember this part. You solely gotta give yourself the best form of direction. You're gonna have cloudy days. You're gonna have thunderstorms. You're gonna have real storms. But again, that's the beauty of living. And that's also the beauty of always having a form of growth and opportunity. I hate you, Tanya. But you gotta remember, you are solely in control of the vessel that you are steering right now. Ain't you let anybody else get your hands on the wheels, or they make the wrong type of turn. Never know. Some people are crashing out even to a point of harming themselves just because of miscommunication. Some things you got to remember to take into consideration. There are some people who could be actually crying out for help, but you have to be able to read it too. Bible, what's going on, baby? Got to remember to pay attention to all the signs visible. Like I said, there are some people who they'll say certain things and they'll mean it. They will definitely mean it, especially if they are already to that point of no return. So if you can try to do the simplest thing, like again, trying to give that form of inspiration, then you make sure you do that. Because again, it is important. Preservation of the mind is also the key to the preservation of your body. But you also got to have a preservation of spirit too. Uh, you can't allow anything, even the worst type of things, to overall. keep your spirits down. Regardless of what, you always elevating and rising. You could rise to the occasion. You could do certain things that you probably wasn't going to be able to do before. You're always going to have multiple levels of elevation. The main thing is just don't keep yourself stagnant. Now, like I said, if you feel prime example being around a bunch of people who the main thing they do is drink, fight, argue, all that other stuff, that ain't something you want to be a part of, then you eliminate yourself from that. It's a lot of things you have to do when it comes to process of elimination. The processes of elimination also help, in my opinion, with your depression. And it can also help with forms of beating certain aspects of the game without you having to be medicated. Because I feel, in my opinion, medication should always be that last option. But if it's to a point where medication is not going to help, you know, got to figure something out. You got to remember that you can't just bring awareness in 1 month. You can bring awareness on a daily, weekly, monthly. You can't tell me there ain't nobody around not looking and seeing at the things in their community, even when it comes down to the mental health state. You got to be aware of one thing, though. You got to always be considerate on certain things. You got to be considerate on certain thoughts, notions, and feelings. So I said it's good to keep a balance. Find what works for you, something that will be beneficial and critical for you. Put it to good use. And when you feel you need something else, then you sit back, you reboot, you think of something else, and then you restart the process again. Just remember that, stress is just going to be a part of life. It's about how you deal with it, though, and how much you let consume. That's the main important thing to remember. Going back to what I was saying earlier, there were a lot of people that once they lost jobs, they went on a downhill spiral. And then you have people who should have been, or I feel should have been, they ain't do those things. From what I'm seeing, and I'm saying this from a general aspect of things, from what I'm seeing, there are a lot of people who could actually help people get back in the right state when they are somewhat depressed on that notion. And if they willing to take the opportunity, learn, grow, and do whatever, then why not give them the fighting chance? And I mean, there are some people who they don't think about those who really want to fight for better. I feel like this: you shouldn't be turned down for more than one spot, especially when you know you really are trying to get the help. Definitely need to find people again who could reach you in the best way and reach you in the right way. Your mindset should be focused on keeping the ball rolling until it's time to close your eyes for good. If you want to say you're trying to create a resume of life, then you better start creating every aspect and cylinder of it while you can.
Some people you don't want to go down the road and see that you still haven't completed or done things you felt you could have done. And honestly, some people are somewhat content of it, but again, it's about decisions and choices. Liz, what's going on, baby? You know, keep everything on a high cylinder, basically. It's nothing wrong with doing so. That high cylinder of thinking, it creates more opportunities. It creates less stress barriers. You know, you'll be back to a better place instead of either being enraged or being too sad, or you just sometimes gotta unplug again. And while you unplugging, again, just remember you're not in the battle alone. Now there are some people who didn't give opportunities to those who were going through some form of depression, especially either after losing a job or a loved one, so on and so forth, right? But there's also ones who didn't take the time and the opportunity or even take the acceptance, which is the problem. But it really is again about just making the right calculations and decisions. You feel you're doing what's best for the people around you, keeping them elevated and uplifted in more than one way, then you keep doing so. Main thing to remember is be blessed that again you still able to breathe and you still able to make things happen. Don't take this shell of a body for granted. You really should. Don't take your mind for granted either. Like I said, it's a balance. To some people, it might be an unfair balance, but it really shouldn't be. Again, it's about what you need in life, not so much as what you want. It's what you need in life. You need to be able to understand that you always want to have some form of help and outreach if you need it. You just have to open your mouth, and you definitely have to let it be known that's what you need. No matter what mental trauma you've been through, you got to remember there are people who, again, able to help you if you can't get the paid help or anything else that you need. Again, closed mouths don't get fed. So you're gonna have to do something. And as much as you may not want to, again, you gotta remember pride will stand in your way all the time. When you need help on things, even if it is just the simplest talk, you reach out to those who actually got your best interest and got your back. Main thing to remember is consume the most important energy because again, that energy is not just going to get you through your day to day, but it'll give you again a form of strength. You know, basically rebuilding it foundational wise. You know, whatever you feel is weakening your foundation of life, gotta fix it and fix it real well. The main thing is to accept the things that is unacceptable to you. Reason why I say it, You might not want to accept, certain things like not reaching your highest plane in a certain position at work. You might not be in a certain mind frame where you feel it's the best things to, jump out there and make the wrong decisions. That can cost you. Prime example, if you own a business and you're going to want to make the wrong decisions, right? You got to keep a clear mind. Even when you're in that form position, they even need people to go talk to. You got to be able to learn to trust at some point. There are, again, people out there who are not out to solely do anything, but just try to help you the best way. But if you're not allowing them to help you, that's a problem. If you're not allowing yourself to help yourself, then that's a problem too. Again, things that you need to accept that you feel are unacceptable, you have to accept it. It's just like prime example, you might not get the starting position in your sport of play. You might end up riding the bench, or you might end up being a six man. You could end up being the best six man and turning yourself into that star if you want to. Again, you're gonna have your ups and downs, you're gonna have your in betweens, but it's about the lessons all in all. What you gain from them and how that helps you fight. That's the most important thing. And again, in this fight against mental health or against depression, again, got to think about what's best. But again, learn to love yourself more than anything. I think that's another reason why some people fall into that form of depression. They don't love themselves. They've either been accustomed to certain things or, sometimes they might just feel less than. Some people are doing things, let's be honest, they doing it out of not just depression, but they doing it because some people are having a midlife crisis. So certain things that, again, you aren't accustomed to people to do, just know that it will happen at some point. It just seems to be, at least in my opinion, a part of life. But some people have a crisis and completely crash out, which is a bad thing. And even when you hear stories of that, you do learn certain things, learn certain elements. Again, the mind is fragile, but it's also a strong piece of what keeps you going. It's fragile because if the wrong people get hold to it, they can poison it. Or if you get the wrong forms of information, prime example, that's poison right there. At least in my opinion, that's poison. So again, keep yourself elevated and motivated to keep moving regardless of what. It would almost be like in certain instances if you got bit by a snake. And depending on what the situation is, you still got time to fight whatever. Or even get yourself to a better ground. But you keep fighting too. Gotta remember that part. Gotta keep fighting. Life is going to throw you some curveballs, going to throw you some trick balls and everything. But in the same token, it's going to throw you some great lessons. You know you was going to hear one of those throughout the day, y'all. You know it. You was going to hear one of those. It ain't the city if you don't hear those. So, again, you got to try to lift yourself too. Because you can have people who help you or lift you, but you got to lift yourself too. Like I said, no matter what struggles you've been through in life, you got to remember that those struggles, whether they hurt deeply or not, it don't change who you are as a person. It just changes your mindset a little bit and makes you a little more wiser, a little more aware, a little more calculated. Again, nobody wants to fight any form of depression alone.
And sometimes you have to give them some form of space too. But also, again, make sure they're in the right mental state before you give them that space too. But you know, I'm gonna keep revisiting this type of topic again. Um, I believe at some point we can get to a better mind state. We can also get to a better playing field and how to maneuver and deal with situations like that. Because we all have people around us like that who at some point, you know, somewhat going on a spiral. If you could try to catch them before time, catch them before time. The main thing again is just keep your mind inspired on greater things, better days, create better memories. You know, again, there's certain things you might have to unplug from for a good reason. And if the people really love and understand you or understand the whole process, they'll still be there when you come back. Key thing to remember though, not just about perception of life. It's about keeping your life constructed. You know, you're gonna have some things that always keep within grasp or keep within control. In those instances, you have to let things just flow naturally. Sometimes you have to be in control of not just your emotional state, but your spiritual state. Think you'll get to a better ground. For those who are going through forms of depression due to loss of life, whether it's family, friends, or just key critical pieces of life, you gotta always remember that you gotta keep the ball rolling, keep the torch lit for them, and be the best you in life. If they remembered you that way, gotta keep that remembrance too. You're gonna have days where you miss these people. It's gonna hurt. Instances you want to cry. Shoot, you might even get some form of angry. But again, you gotta remember, there's just some things you can't ask questions on. The most you can do is just try to move forward and just know that things will be all right. It's all said and done. You'll revisit and see those same people. Got to be at your best regardless. I solidly believe if, again, you take the right steps, the right protocol, it can happen. But all in all, though, I said I was going to be revisiting, and I will revisit this. Deeper levels, deeper levels. I know a lot of y'all working, dealing with whatever. Um, for those following me on Clapper, I will definitely see y'all tonight around 6:30. Apologies yesterday. We had some slight issues, but we fixed those issues today. So, nonetheless, just mostly wanted to give this out. For those who need to hear it, for those that it resonates with, when you are able to read the signs, especially when it's with your people, you do what's right. You do what's necessary. And also give them that.
extra motivation and inspiration to know. What don't kill you only makes you strong. What don't cripple you, will keep you moving. Never let your past cripple you or dictate to you who you are as a person. I don't care what spectrum you're on. You gotta feel right within yourself. And you just gotta keep yourself wanting more. You want more out of life, gotta start doing more in life. Key element out of all of that. And again, there's no judgment here. It's just a clear conversation with the people. Logical conversation. Again, when you know you can help those and reach those and breach them in the right way, make sure you're doing so. It'll make a world of a difference. I will be revisiting this, if not tomorrow. I could be revisiting this situation on Thursday, and I'm gonna drop the link. Um, wasn't gonna keep y'all all afternoon. Just wanted to chime in with the people. And again, for those following me on Clapper, I will see y'all later on. As a matter of fact, I will see y'all at 6 o'clock and not 6:30. Always a blessing to bring something to the people, and this is what we're gonna keep doing. Hopefully, those in the shadows are sharing this live out. Again, the battle against depression and also the battle against mental health is not over. It should be nobody giving up because we all have somebody, at least within our family line, that deals with that same form of depression. So again, give a better balance when you need to. Definitely appreciate everybody that tuned in. And again, hopefully everybody enjoyed their Tuesday mornings. I know it's still morning on the west, afternoon in the central and the east, the evening to the UK. Yeah. Happy hump day to you future babies. Hopefully you enjoyed your days. Hopefully you prepared for the week. And yeah, I'll definitely be back. Mark, what's going on? What's going on? No doubt, no doubt. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel. Um, yeah, but you just gotta remember this part though. Be strong and impactful in what you're doing in life. Keep yourself encouraged no matter what. Nobody tells you how to live life. Nobody tells you how to be happy in life. Nobody pushes your balance in life more than you will. No doubt, Mark. Appreciate you, man. You just got to remember. You got to help keep their mind sharp and elevated. You don't want that sitting on your soul or on your spirit anyway. When you could have helped somebody. You know, be wise in the decisions that you make, people that you incorporate yourself with. And again, also just remind yourself that again, you're not going to be able to soak up everything. You can help a lot of people. You can even help yourself at times. But you can't consume and console everything. That right there definitely sends you on a downward spiral. It's about peace more than anything. In order to give yourself that mental balance and peace, you have to just do process of elimination and evaluate what's solely important to you. And if it does give you that strength and balance, and you keep that and incorporate that. Anything else, let it go.
But yeah, I ain't gonna hold y'all though. About time for me to get this salad on. Yeah, your boy actually following a regiment right now, so uh, yeah, that chicken salad sounding good right now. So y'all know though, this is a revisitable moment, and I will be revisiting this most likely Thursday. If I don't revisit it Thursday afternoon, I could be coming in for the evening session. So I'll drop the link in case anybody else want to chime in on it. How you doing? It's always good to get critical views and opinions, especially when dealing with these topics. But yeah, appreciate everybody that's been a part of the fold, still being a part of the fold. We still got a lot of work to do. We still going to keep bringing that message regardless. And again, to those who thought those accounts and everything else was going to stop what was going on, keep trying. We'll find out. It ain't going to be that easy. You'll find out that it's not going to be that easy to stop a message, especially when it's a message that's bigger than you. So let me get myself up out of here. And great talk as always. For those who just tuned in, y'all already know y'all can catch the replay. Y'all was new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Shout out to the replay gang. Shout out to the Shadow Mafia and the Shadow Baby. Y'all know what it is, baby. Everybody that was in attendance today, y'all already know that love is love and then be reciprocated as such. I don't know how to be fake. What I'm gonna do is give you real. That's all I'm gonna do is give you real topics and real builds. And yeah, we're gonna definitely keep the emotion going. And again, for those following me on Clap, I will see you tonight. If I don't see you tonight, I could most likely be back tonight with another discussion. So y'all already know, y'all stay tuned. Y'all stay safe. Keep that third eye open. Until the next live, we out of here. Peace and blessings.